Gamer and Tropical.
Okay.
Go,
I have
go,
said
go.
some.
Okay, it's working. Or at least on the screen, it's working.
Yay.
I haven't opened up Twitch yet, so I will tweet it, and then we can start.
To Twitch.
At least I think it's. It should be on the same one I left it on.
Go,
Said
go.
some.
Okay, it's working. Okay, it's working. Okay, phew, okay. All right, let me. Yeah. All right, so tell me when, or I guess whenever we're ready to start, we can start. Or are you guys ready to start?
Wait, the stream is on?
Yeah, the stream's on.
Huh.
Is it not coming up or?
Well, it could be my computer. So I guess there's that.
Oh no, tropical.
Yeah, it's coming up. The live on Twitch TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, a commercial. That's a good sign. I think all of the spying on us to do ads is working, because I do want to watch that movie.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like after the whole, one game a month plan worked, I think this is going to work because after the break we took, it's like I wasn't buying any games. I was just playing stuff, and like I just cleared out like Tomb Raider, Brothers, Gone Home, and I was like, man, I'm like going through games like nothing. So it's like, but then we weren't recording, so it's like I had time. So it's like or I guess I was since we're like not doing, I didn't have to worry about the podcast. But it's like it was interesting to like just having to play games and like play through them and be like, oh man, I can actually just. I'm like not buying games, so I don't have to worry about like anything new. Like you said, like when you have a game goes in your backlog is like when you stop playing it and you start playing something new. So it's like since there's nothing new on the horizon until September, it's like it's all fun times until then to just play through stuff.
Until September, wow.
Shut
I
up,
don't
dude,
have
it's
too
gonna
much
happen.
restraint.
I
Holy
will make
shit,
it.
man.
Place your bets
But
now.
like, says the guy who bought like 50 games on the Steam
Yeah,
sale or
that
something.
was the last hurrah. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to buy any games for a while, and if I'm lucky and I can get through a ton of games, I will eventually come back to my Steam games and play through them.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't end up starting Bioshock Infinite yet, but it'll happen. So hopefully over the weekend that will be done too.
Crazy. Awesome, but crazy. Yeah. Okay, whatever. We'll just start.
Okay, let's see what episode this is because I completely forgot. Like always.
It has been a while.
Let's see, number 218. Okay. Time to start now. Okay. Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babble Z, episode 218. I'm Ticket Master, joined by.
Traptical.
And Gamer 12.
So yeah, RPG is away, being the chef that he is, and we're here to talk about what we've been playing, and then some stuff about other stuff like Kickstarter and whatnot. Maybe, we'll see. So who wants to go first?
You guys can go ahead.
Alright, well, Tropical, have you played The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1 yet?
Yes, I have a story about that.
Okay, so that's the first thing we're talking about, because I've been gushing. I mean, I've been itching. I'm sorry, not itching. I've been
Gushing.
Well, so since mine took place before the game, essentially what happened was I downloaded it, or I waited for the season pass to come out. Did you guys do that? Or
No, I bought it the day it came out. I was like, dude.
Oh, you bought it the
dude.
day it came out?
At least on PS3, I was like, wait a minute, there's no. Then I noticed it afterward. I was like, wait a minute, where's the or when I bought it, I was like, where's the season pass? I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just buy it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sat and was like, you know what? I have so many games to play. I might as well just wait until the season pass comes out, because the Wolf Among Us one came out the following Thursday, and I was like, well, that's 2 days. Then it didn't come out, and then I was just, by then, I don't know, I have this weird tendency sometimes in the summer, if I'm hitting movies on their release days, like going out to the theater and seeing it on the release days, if I miss one, then suddenly I just have no will to go see that movie anymore. So that kind of happened with The Walking Dead season 2. I was super pumped on Tuesday, and then I looked, I was like, what? No season pass? Oh, I'll just wait 2 days. And then when that didn't happen, I was like, then I just sort of forgot about it. So even when I bought it, I think the following week, I didn't play it for a few days, or maybe even a few, yeah, more than a few days, it was just very weird. Finally, when I sat down to play it, I was like, okay, I can get it there, import my save file from previous playthrough, and then I started the game. And you know how the game starts with previously on The Walking Dead, and it shows you sort of highlights from season 1. I found out that the file that I had played 400 days on was not the file I had beat the game on. So it had chosen random choices for stuff in season 1, and I was so bummed out. I was like, oh man, like there's a scene at the end that I felt it was very significant, and I was like, oh, and then when it didn't play out that way in the previously on The Walking Dead part, I was like, oh, and I just quit. And another I think a week or so went by, and I was just like, I don't feel like playing it, because, well, not I don't feel like playing it, but man, it's going to take work to play season 2, because now I have to go back to season 1, beat 400 days again, and, it won't be the same 400 days that I played before, because I'm making the choices, I know what's going to happen. I have to make the choices again. And I found, well, yeah, suffice it to say, it took me a long time until last night, and I was like, oh man, Tekken's going to be mad if I haven't finished this. So finally at 2 a.m., I finished 400 Days and first episode of season 2.
Yeah, for me, it's funny because I bought the season 2 episode 1 before the season pass on PS3, even though I had already played it on PC, so I didn't need to buy it. I could just wait for the season pass. But it's just like I was still like anticipating just like playing through on like both platforms to do like opposite choices and like see what happens. So I'm totally doing that like this time, like I did, like I'm doing for The Wolf Among Us. I'm like opposite, because like I'm streaming my playthrough on PS3 on Twitch, and then like not all the choices I'm doing are the same, but like most of them are. Like the major one that's like different is the end of episode 2, when it's like, are we gonna take this stuff from the car? And I like didn't. I was like, well, let's see what happens, because I want to see like what happens if you don't. And then I was like, but like the rest of everything else has pretty much been the same, so I'm gonna see like what happens if I like have one thing that's different, but everything else is the same. But then when I get to 400 days, it's probably gonna be different because I completely forgot what I did. So and like I'm not even sure if like the order you play them in is like any reason to like or like change anything. I don't know, but like yeah, 400 days is like so random. I'm just like, well, I guess I might try to do something different on that, but we'll see.
I think actually it might. There's a part where a headlight gets shot out, and then later when you see that car, that headlight is shot out, and I was like, huh. So if I had done, this episode first where I see the car, and then do the one where the headlight could get shot out, would it not be shot out? Or would it anticipate that, or maybe it always gets shot out? Maybe.
So you didn't play episode 1 yet, Chapter Golf?
No, yeah, I beat both of them. It was yeah, it was intense because it was very late and I was super tired. And I had to play 2 episodes, and I think that's like, what, 4 hours? It took 3 or 4 hours to beat both of them. And yeah, it was you know how the Walking Dead game is. There were parts like I was trying to play 400 Days and do the exact same things I had done before, but man, there was one episode in 400 Days was like, I can't do it this time. It just
actually I found that to be the case with my playthrough on PS3, because like I wanted to do like an opposite playthrough, but I was like, I can't do it. Like I can't do these bad
it's
things.
like, this is too messed up. I'm sorry, I can't do it this time. Like last time, I sort of saw how it ended up, and I was like, man, I can't wait to see how this ends up in season 2. But this time it was like, it kind of was. It kind of sucked.
Actually, I'm interested to like to see how they incorporate the 400 day stuff into the season 2 because it
Yeah.
did seem like in the preview for episode 2 there was one of the people from the 400 days in it. So I'm wondering like if they'll talk about what happened in their like adventures with the group at the end because it says like I think 12 or 18 months later when you get to episode 1 of season 2 like Clementine's there and it's like oh man it's been like a whole year so maybe it has been like 400 days and they'll catch up with them so that'd be crazy.
Uh,
But
that would
man,
be great.
I'm not gonna say like anything about like what happens, but like the like last thing that you do, I was so torn. Like the timer was ticking down, and like it was almost like nothing, and I was like, "Crap, I have to do something." I don't know. I was like, "I don't know what to do." And then, oh, I completely regretted it. Like the moment I did it, I was like, "Oh, they got me again." Just oh. It's like I felt I should have saved somebody, but I didn't save them, and I was like, "Well, I don't know, man." But then that guy said he has ammo, so.
Oh, dude, you went for him. Oh my god.
Well, the other
Traitor.
guy, and the other thing is like I was like I'm not 100% sure on like the fiction of like when someone can get turned into a walker if they're just like scratched or do they have to be bitten? Because like the dude was scratched, and I was like, well, he hasn't been bitten. I'm not gonna take any chances though, so I'll not. I felt
Well,
bad
no,
about.
because in season 1 and just in the fiction in general, they said that it's not the bites. Like when you die, everyone is infected
Yeah, but
already.
even
When
when you
you
bite,
die,
but when you're bitten, you turn faster.
yeah, because you die faster.
Oh,
That's the difference.
but is
So
it?
like the bites give you, I mean, it kills you from the inside very quickly. You get this really high fever and you just die.
Yeah, so that's the other thing I like is they brought back the line of from season 1 because I said if I played it again and like the part when you meet the bum dude I think his name's Chuck and he's like or like Clementine comes to the lead and he's like yeah he told me that I was gonna die and something something it's just hilarious and then like Lee's like oh, he said what and then he has like this whole conversation with him that was great but like they brought back the whole the same thing that happens to everybody else because like she says something happened to somebody and they're because she's like talking about somebody and somebody's like oh what happened to him and then she's like same thing that happens to everybody else or that was one of the responses and I picked it and I was like
Yeah.
oh that feels kind of cold I said that but it's the truth in The Walking Dead because that's what happens. Yeah.
Oh, you're cold, huh? So did you burn his photo?
No I wasn't cold. That was just a cold response game I didn't do like
Cold
all the cold
bastard.
choices. Oh what happened to you guys with the dogs that was like the one moment where I was like dude this is like
That that
that-
was like kind of
I didn't see that coming.
awkward. It was like
Just
a
like-
180. It's like he's like petting you and shit, and then all of a sudden, was it the can or something? You grab it, and all of a sudden the dog goes like 180. It's like what?
That was
kinda-
weird.
Well,
Then there was an option like give him some food, right? Like I gave him the dog some food, so it's like what the hell? That's weird.
it was really hungry.
Can't trust anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be really vague, just on purpose, just so you know out there. But yeah, in general, something that a lot of people have been talking about is the switch to playing as Clementine now. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I think to me it just like it changes the dynamic as far as like the character and like how you perceive the universe that you're in because it's cool when she gets to like the stronghold that they're all holding up in is like because from like season 1 you had that moment when like you save Ben and then like he comes there and then like Carly or not Carly but Lily or whichever one she's all like we don't take people in what we don't need another mouth to feed blah 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 but then like in this season it's like you're from that perspective like seeing how people would react to you coming in to like f up their situation of we don't need one more person being here. And I thought that was great
Yeah.
and also the part when they're like freaking out because they don't know if she's been bitten or not and they're like is it a walker bite or is it a wolf bite or what is it that was crazy like we should just put her down now it's like hey I'm a person I'm a human being.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me because in the first one, and man, I really loved the last episode of season 1 because there were parts where I felt like I don't know, I don't think most people were affected this way, but I was just like I was very careful with what I said to Clementine in the end because it was just like, to prepare her
I was
for the
always
future.
careful with what I did to her.
Well,
And like
yeah,
what it, like what, and I was glad when I made choices of like yeah, I was like I felt like I was playing it right when like I did stuff and like she didn't have to see like crazy stuff go down. I was like yes, I saved Clementine. Like it didn't take very long to be like okay, I need to like protect her from anything and everything in this game. That which is like one of the reasons I love it. It's just like this crazy paternal bond you develop with the NPC. It's like
yeah,
so good.
yeah. But it was interesting because it was like, you're doing this paternal stuff. You're telling her, you're preparing her for being on her own if it comes to that. And so, at the end, like not expecting a season two, I was just like, oh, I felt okay leaving her that way. But then, coming into season two, it's like, oh, now you play as her. And so in the beginning, I was sort of confused. I was like, I sort of understood Lee as the series went on, but I don't understand Clementine. And it's a weird sensation because it's like, well, I should though, because I sort of made her the way she is, playing as a different character. And then so as I progressed through the episode, I became more and more confident in just choosing what I would choose.
Yeah.
Whereas in the beginning, I was sort of trying to read her as like, I'm not sure what fits in this situation. Like, how would Clementine react in this situation? And then later, I just realized that, you know what, Clementine is who she became because of what I did previously. So I should just do whatever I would do.
Yeah, it's like just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if like oh wait, go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, it makes me wonder if you coddled her too much in season one. Like, is she like a terrible fighter in season two? Because like in the season two in my game, she's a trained killer. Like, she'll kill like anybody at no problem, like no hesitation. But like, I don't know if you like, I don't know, babied her too much. Like, would she be like afraid more? I don't know. That would be an interesting aspect if they included it, but I haven't seen it so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. There were parts where, I mean, a lot of the dialogue, it feels like you can sort of choose whatever. I mean, two of the choices will be very similar, and you just sort of choose whichever one. But I always felt that if they were clever, they would make every dialogue choice sort of impactful later down the line as well. And so, I just remember choosing Lee's dialogue at the end of season one. It was just like, Clementine will remember that. Clementine will remember that. I was like, oh man, she's gonna remember. And then coming into this, it's like, did it work? Yeah.
But then like the
dog
other oh, go ahead.
No, just you think it's going one way, and then it's like, oh wow, still got surprises. Telltale. Okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like you think you've been through this before, so you think what's gonna happen, but then like they end episode one like a way they never ended any of the episodes in season one because they can do that like now like a cliffhanger of like who is it? It's like oh, so it's like even though I think I already know who it is, it's just like oh that was just like cool that they did that. It's like it just ends on a cliffhanger. It's like oh man, that's great. That's like so crazy. So now I can't even like wait to see like what happens. So that'll be crazy.
Awesome.
But I guess we can go to the next game or whatever. Who's been playing what? But do you want to go first, game, or do you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter.
All right, I guess I guess I'll go first because I've been playing quite a bit. Okay, let me look at my screen images here. Okay, I guess I'll start with Gone Home. So Gone Home is really cool. Wow, that is a terrible screenshot for the stream. Whatever.
Now, well, before you go too far into it, is Gone Home a game that is best experienced not knowing anything, or?
Yeah, I'd say not knowing. I'm not going to say too much about it. I'm just like going to talk like how I enjoyed it and stuff. I'm not going to say like what happens. But to me, it's like another game. Like, I guess I would put it. I'm not going to say it's like Journey, but I would say it's like one of those games where it's like I feel like games as there's like more and more experiences that you can have in them. It's like I don't think like video games is like a broad general term you can use to like encompass all of them. Like as like books, there's like there's an instruction manual, there's a magazine, there's a novel, there's a
Tekken, that screenshot. It's a You only have
Yeah.
the Go H on the screen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
The less you know, the better it is.
Go H.
Go H, go!
But yeah, this one's cool because like it's like the cool stuff it does is basically it like the I'm trying to think here. Like the two things that made it to me was like the relationship you have with like a certain NPC is like kind of what drives the narrative, and so you're trying to like find out what happens to this NPC because of your relationship to them. So that was cool. And then the other thing is like there's stuff hinted at as you read stuff because there's like texts littered around of like what happened, and or like as you explore more of the house you like see what happens, but like it like hints that something is like either a presence there or like something might happen, but then it never happened. So it's like that was cool that it was like it makes you think it's gonna go like there might be something happening, but it doesn't happen. It's like, oh, that's cool how that did that. And like like when it does that, it kind of highlights that doesn't really need to happen in a game for it to like have any type of like crazy, I guess like climactic point in it to have like some, oh man, that was crazy. But yeah, that was really good. I'd recommend it to like anybody that's like interested in checking it out, that's interested in like different stuff that's not just, oh, let me walk around and shoot stuff and blah 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 blah. I enjoyed it very much. And but yeah, moving on to Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. This game was, whoa, okay, I messed up on the screenshots today, but whatever. So Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons was like interesting from like the control mechanics, but outside of that, I wasn't, I'd heard this being like, I wouldn't say it was hyped up, but it was just being a lot of people were saying, oh, it's really good, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay,
I heard the narrative was really good, is what people were saying. It was just like one of the best stories of the year.
I don't know about that. Well, I guess that's the thing though. It's like I went into it like with all this like acclaim from like people playing it and be like, oh man, you gotta check this out, blah blah blah. And like I played it and it was like, I don't know. It's not as good as I would say I've heard, so I was kind of let down. But it's not like a terrible game, so And I did like I bought it for super cheap from it's either Good Old or Green Man Gaming or Amazon. I don't remember. Cause it's like even cheaper than it was on Steam. So I was like, oh, it's only like $250. So I was like, well, it wasn't like a complete. There are pretty cool moments in it since you can like control both of the characters at the same time with the sticks. That was interesting that they did that. But besides that, I wouldn't say.
Is it a long game?
No.
Like,
it took me like 2 sittings. Like I'd have to look at my Raptor. Oh, gamer, thank you. I'm sorry. I'd say you can just easily pace through. There's not that much there. I don't remember how long it took me, but it's probably like 4 to 8 hours. Probably not 8 hours, but I remember it was like 2 sessions, so it's not that long, but the length has nothing to really do with it. It was just like a nice, enjoyable adventure, but it wasn't as good as like everyone was gushing it was. So yeah. Have you played it, gamer?
I'm currently in the process.
Ew. Well.
I'm waiting for a free PS Plus version. Sorry, devs, but you're getting paid for that too.
It is coming, right? This month?
Yeah, that's what they said.
I did like the one thing that they did was like there's no dialogue, so it's like you have characters that talk, but when they talk, it's like blah 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 blah. So it's like they sound like they have a voice and they're from this area, but it's not really like contextualized into language. So that was pretty cool. And then besides that, I've been playing. Oh, I guess I'll get to the other game I played that was like over the break to finish it, which was Tomb Raider. That game, amazing. Like. Ah, man. Okay, so I was very surprised when I saw this game popping up at the end of the year. Of like, oh, it's one of the. It was like it was like it was very nominated. I will say, because I don't think I saw it won many awards, but it was like very nominated as far as like Game of Year awards stuff. So I was like, well, I guess I'll check it out because I'd gotten it during the Steam sale the previous autumn, spring, or something. One of those, when it was like super cheap on Steam, and then there's like a flash sale on PSN, so I got it on PS3 as well. So I played the PS3 version. And man, it is good, dude. It's like, okay. So it kind of feels like a very linear version a Far Cry 3 if it was like a third person, like, I'm not gonna say third person shooter because it's not really shooting dudes, but it's third person like survival, but not really like super survival, but it's like got the mechanics of survival where it's like you always feel like you're in danger. Like Red Dead, I guess. So it'd be like Red Dead on an island if you're a female protagonist and just like crazy stuff is like always out to get you. But then on the other side, I don't think they like took those mechanics far enough to where like they could have did it more extreme to where you always had to be scavenging and always had to be doing that. But then I guess if they did that, they might have like upset some people of like, oh well, I always have to keep collecting supplies and blah 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 blah. Because there's like skills that you get, but they're completely useless because you never have to worry about getting food or getting health or getting supplies or blah 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 because you're always maxed out or getting them off of the enemies. So that was interesting. But man, Lara Croft, dude, or Lara, whatever. The way they like redid her and like remade her as a survivor in this game, and she is just so brutal. Like she will like shank dudes left and right, shoot dudes in the face. It was delicious. I was like could not like by the end of this game I was like Lara Croft, you know, I've kind of like lost my attractiveness to you because you're a cold-blooded killer, and yeah, because you scare me now. Make me friends. That's it. Cause whew, man, the things she does in this game just. Whew, man, it felt very like, and then it's cool because you get like a lot of gadgets too, so it feels very kind of like like a lot of Zelda elements where like you start off with like the bow and arrow, but as you go on like you get more and more upgrades for it, so it's even more awesome. And basically the same thing with like every weapon, like you start off with like I don't remember what it is. It's some sort of I don't want to say thingy, but it's like a hammer tool thing.
But it is a thingy.
And then by the end of the game, it's like this like rock climbing hammer axe tool thing, and it's like, man, and she uses it to like melee kill dudes and like stealth kill dudes. Oh, that's your thing. It's like there's a stealth thing where you can just like sneak up on dudes and jack them. It's so good. And then the graphics, man, like it looks amazing. Like I was playing this in 720p and just. I'm very interested to see like what the PS4 and Xbox One versions looks like when they're like super awesome mode or PCified or whatever you want to say about them. Because man,
yeah, PC version look great. So
the backgrounds are just so good, and then like there's no slowdown, and it's just so fluid and seamless, and just the textures are great. Everything graphically is just like amazing. And I was like, wow. And it's like I felt like after playing this, I was like, you know, if I had played this before, The Last of Us, which I played after this or before this, I was like, I probably would have enjoyed this more because it had a lot of the, you know, stealth shanking dudes and just survival and just like, you know, you thought Joel and Ellie had to like go through traumatic experiences in that game. It's like Lara Croft on this island goes through like I would say just as bad of a traumatic experience, just like trying to survive. But man, like the whole tagline of, you know, a survivor is born. It's like, yeah, after that game, I was like, dude, she is a survivor now, and that was. And like I was wrong about this game, so I remember when I saw it at E3, I was like, dude, they're just gonna like dude bro it up and like have a third-person shooter. She's just shooting dudes left and right, but I was completely wrong, and I completely enjoyed it, and it was just an amazing experience and just so good. And I was completely wrong, so good job, Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, I think, developed it. So
yep.
Good job to those dudes, because that was awesome. No, I didn't play the multiplayer, but, you know, F that, because it's all PvP, so I had to do multiplayer if it's PvP, then, you know, no co-op, no sell, or I guess no co-op, no play, so. And
You should try a game, see if it's still alive, because I doubt it's alive.
Yeah, wait, on PC, right?
On PS3.
Oh, okay.
Or would there be still people playing?
I actually think PS3 might still have people, because there are multiplayer trophies, right?
Yeah.
That actually does work. There are people who will go to great lengths to get multiplayer trophies.
Arkham Origins says hello. No one was playing that when that was going on with multiplayer. God. But yeah.
And then let's see, besides that, I've been playing some wow. Some Gran Turismo 6, and that game, like it. I will go on record and say, you know, I'm not sure this is true, but it just doesn't feel like there's as much in this game as there is in like the previous versions of the game, because it just feels just so much more approachable than the previous versions. I mean, as far as design goes, yeah, it's a better, game, and like it makes a better game and like easier to play and not as frustrating and more enjoyable. But it just seems like it's not as big of a steak when you're eating it and then you're done and you're like, huh, well, that didn't feel like an extra large, but maybe it was just a medium. I don't know. It's just, 'cause I just blew through it in no time, and then I'm like trying to go back and play it, but there's not really much else to do because I've already done everything, and I'm just like, man. So yeah, I don't want to like move on from it because they're still updating it, like, but then not all the updates are coming out on time because the Red Bull X Challenge, at first it said January 1st, 2014 or 2014, and then it was now, and then now it just says coming in January, so we'll see. But there are like seasonal events added. But then at the end of the day, it's just getting more credits, and then I have like, I think 3 more stars I need, or 1 or 2, or not very many. But then after that, it's like, okay, what do I do now? I've gotten gold and everything. I've gotten all the stars, and I don't want to like waste time getting all the cars because that's not really something that's fun to do. So I don't know. It's weird. I'll just wait. But then I guess it is cool that they're adding like new content. That the Red Bull thing is free, and like all the seasonal events are free. So I'll just keep playing that, and then. Hopefully they add some more stuff. We'll see. But I was kind of slightly disappointed just because it was like not as much stuff, or content-wise, it was not as good, even though the quality was still top-notch. So that was annoying. And then besides that, I've been playing still. Oh man, I need to stop, but I can't. Batman Arkham Origins because. There's stuff to do in that game. That game. It's like a trap. It's like you get in and you think, oh, I can get everything, but you can't, and then you end up having to have 2 profiles, and then it's like I'm almost done, but then it's like DLC is coming out, so it's like every time I think I'm done, it's like, oh, DLC, and then because I'm playing it for YouTube, it's like I have to play through all the stuff for all the characters, so there's 3 now. It'd be awesome if they added more, but. So it's like I'm playing this game with interest. So it's like I'm done. But then every time they add new stuff, it's like, oh, I get 3 times. I guess it's not really a complaint. It's just I'm happy that they're adding it to it. It's just I'm hoping like it's the DLC in my brain that I talked about last time when it's like they could do some really awesome stuff here if they added some more characters and scenarios inside the city. But I don't think they will. So and then like the initiation DLC was cool, but wasn't. What I was hoping for. I'm not gonna say it's like bad or whatchamacallit, let me down, because it wasn't. But it was
just weird how they packaged it. From what I was looking at your gameplay videos, it was just challenge maps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a campaign, so it was a challenge. It was just challenge maps, connected to each other, and then if you got all the medals, you get a certain ending, and if you don't get all the medals, you get the other ending. So it's like, well. Yeah, that doesn't really. And then there's a bit of text too about, oh, Batman goes to North Korea to train under this dude. It's like there's not even voiceover. There's just text. It's like, what? That was weird. And then there's like cutscenes and yeah. But then like it's weird because when you play it with the Deathstroke and Batman, there's nothing. So it's like, oh, well, it's just Bruce Wayne. The only thing that triggers that. So. But it's still fun. So I've been going back to do that. I'm trying to get the stupid last rank in the. I think it's Worst Nightmare. There's like 2 ranks on that, and then there's that I'm trying to do, and then I have to finish all the challenge maps. I'm just like on the DLC maps now, so I'm almost done. So I'll be done soon. But yeah, still enjoying it. Still fun and stuff. But more DLC. That was awesome. Would be great. And that's Arthalad 2. I'm almost done with that game. Hopefully soon, and then it's weird because I haven't played my Vita like at all because I haven't played Arthalad. I'm still trying to finish my that game before I move on to like Vita, so I don't have to balance the 2. So yeah, I'm trying to like retire my PSP.
Run on Vita?
Yeah, but it's like, what's the point of playing the Vita if you're playing a PS1 game? So
What?
Better screen.
I know, right? The colors.
Is the battery life longer?
No.
There you go. And then I got a game for the 3DS, but then my A buttons broke, so I need to get another one. So that's the problem, since all the Black Friday deals are done. So like I can't get one for cheap for like 12 months. So I will be getting a 3DS XL or something to replace my current one because I broke my A button. which means I can't jump or do a lot of other things that because like A is like the primary button in Nintendo games. So
How did you break it?
I don't know. It's always closed, so I'm guessing it just like closed down on the A button and then just rendered it inert, so it doesn't work anymore. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, gamer. Because like I'm never playing it, so how did I break it if I never play it? But yeah, new 3DS in my future, soon maybe. And that's all I've been playing. Gamer.
Pretty much. I just finished Assassin's Creed 4 on PS4, and that was okay. Better than 3, but still like.
I saw your tweet about it when you finished it, and you're like, it didn't really come together at the end.
The last act, it was like just rushing towards the end, like no coherence whatsoever. What's happening with the main character? It's like, oh, just stuff is happening, bang, bang, bang. Then the ending credits were rolling. I was like, what? That was it? And there's like they're trying to the storyline. Oh God, it's even getting worse. Like, the present line storyline's getting worse. Like it's getting more ridiculous as time goes on. So hopefully they'll probably show the next ACA this year. So looking forward to that. Not. But the game on PS4 looks so good. It's like, oh man, I think I could let my PC rest for a while because PS4 can actually handle good graphics. So that's cool. Then I started playing Rhythm Thief on 3DS. That is a fun game. I know RPG played it. Yeah, it's pretty much just like random mini games, aka into like a Professor Layton style game. So that's kind of cool. And I was playing Mega Rising Revengeance DLC because the game came out on PC. But because like one of my New Year's resolutions is like not to buy games twice on different systems, so I like because I was about to get on PC, but I was like, do I really need it? I already have the game. I already bought the DLC for it, so I just because I've never played the DLC even though I bought it like day one, so I finally played it and I don't know, action games. I'm just getting too old for that type of gameplay because like the last boss. The senator, you play against the senator again, and he's just frustrating again. So it took me like a couple hours to beat him. But yeah, that game is
hours.
Yeah, when you see that last boss and you fight him, tell me, especially on hard, like the health is just crazy because he does like every time he hits you, it's like you have like 100, let's say 100% health. He drops you down to 80 every hit. So it's like you only have 5 hits before you get killed, so that's kind of irritating. But I beat it, so that was kind of fun because it's like so ridiculous that game, but I loved it. So hopefully, man, PC players are enjoying the hell of it. It's like, finally, people are actually playing the game because it did okay, but didn't do gangbusters, so that's fun.
Yeah.
And finally, it was just like I've been trying to finish like backlog games like Saints Row 4, so. Just cleaning that up. That's about it. Because when I came back, like everything on the PS4 is like update, so I couldn't play anything. So I couldn't play like any multiplayer games, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, it's pretty backlog beatdown all the time.
Backlog beatdown has begun.
Okay, so I cleared. Let's see, Brothers, Gone Home, Tomb Raider. That's 3 for me. How many did you clear or gamer? How did you clear?
On the break, I finished Tearaway, Kills with Mercenary, and Professor Layton, and the On One Future. Which, holy shit, that twist at the end of the game is like, okay, that makes sense. I love the twist in that game, seriously. Those games are just make me laugh. But yeah, those 3 games, so gone.
Dang it, I'm behind.
Says the guy with 5,000 trophies.
Yeah, that happened. That was very cool. It looked very nice and neat for about a day, and then I was considering, it's like, should I just keep it here and just like not play any PlayStation Network games for a while, or and then I couldn't help myself, and I was just, I just want to play them. So as far as backlog beatdown, I think I've only beat one game, which was a Contrast, and it's not even a very long game. Although, well, I guess you could kind of say I beat Battlefield 4 again, because I beat it on PS4. So kind of counts, maybe. I don't know.
So you didn't run into that save bug, whatever people are running into?
I did in November, so like early on, it happened to me. Yeah, Battlefield 4 it's so cool. It's really awesome. Just because the difference between the PS3 version and the PS4 version is like night and day. It is it's incredible, and it's amazing. It's even better. I thought that my PC was doing Battlefield 3 okay, because I would play it as like, yeah, this definitely is running smoother than the PS3 version, and textures, everything, it just looks better than the PS3 version. And so I thought, oh, PC version, quite good. And then, or my PC version is quite good. And then I played Battlefield 4 on PS4, and it was just like, oh my gosh, so this is what 60 frames looks like. So that on my PC, that's not 60 frames. That's somewhere, that's like 40 or 50. So better than PS3, but nowhere near the smoothness of Battlefield on PS4. And yeah, it's just crazy. And then having all the players with you when you're playing on multiplayer is just like, especially this one level that takes place in I guess it's a prison, and just there's one point in the middle that if you capture that, you can basically win the game, or every match, and you'll just see these giant 64 player firefights in this one room, and it's awesome. It's just like, wow. So this is why Battlefield was so popular on PC when it first came out, way back in the 2000s. But yeah, no, it's improved a lot recently. Before, I think I could play maybe half a game and then it would crash. And in the earliest days, when it crashed, it would also take your single player save file with it. So if you're playing multiplayer and it crashed, then you lose your single player progress. So basically, most of November I didn't play Battlefield, and I think I started playing near the end of December, really. And then this week I actually played it on Vita just because. Yeah, like my TV was occupied or something, so I tried playing remote play, and it was really cool because graphics fidelity was about the same as on the PS4. So you're looking at this Vita screen, and it's just like, this is crazy. Look how good this looks. And then, but like it does drop down to 30 frames, which is, it's not bad. It's still smooth, but it's just not as smooth. So it doesn't. It's hard to describe, but it was very cool. I played an entire match on remote play, and it was very playable. And I was gonna take a picture of how I hold the Vita now, because I figured it out. It's not, they don't divide the rear touchpad into quadrants. Well, they don't only do that. They first divide it into quadrants, and then in the quadrants there's a smaller rectangle in each quadrant that is the actual button that you can push for the R2 and L2 or L3. The buttons that the Vita doesn't have use the rear touch. And so if you hold it a certain way, it's really comfortable to hold the Vita, and you don't accidentally push the rear touch, and you can hit the rear touch when you want to. And it was amazing. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I hadn't even considered doing this because I felt like it wouldn't work. I don't know, like I messed around with Resogun at the beginning, and that was kind of it. But that was actually a situation that came up. As like, oh, I can't use my TV. I will use my Vita, and it was amazing. It's like, PlayStation Now is sounding really awesome, but we will see.
Yeah, to me, it's like I saw, like I remember when back in the days when we talked about the whole Steam in the box as far as like the GPU and the monitor. It seems like this is even like a better solution because it's in the cloud, so therefore you don't have to worry about the processing and rendering like on the device.
Yeah.
Just it's done not locally. What's the opposite of local?
Remotely.
Remote.
Yeah, it's done remote, and then it's just beamed to the device for you to play it that way. So it's like SKUs don't, or not SKUs, but specs don't matter. You can just have the processing done remotely,
Yep.
and then beam to the device to run it.
Just need really awesome
Bandwidth.
connection.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's the problem.
It's not even bandwidth. It's also just like ping time.
Mm.
Did you see the videos from CES
I didn't.
of
I-
God of War Ascension?
I didn't
It's like
watch
there's
them. I saw
there's a
them.
bit of lag, but it's like it will work for most games.
Yeah.
Just not shooters, I guess.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the thing. Like on remote play with the Vita, playing Battlefield 4, I guess I haven't tried it with Battlefield 4, but like looking at Resogun, I can tell that oh yeah, on the TV it's happening slightly slower than, or anyway, yeah, you can tell that there's a little bit of lag, but it was still completely playable just looking at the Vita screen.
Yeah.
And even with Battlefield 4, I actually did pretty well in that round. I mean, the biggest problem was that the screen was so tiny, and like Battlefield 4, the distances are long and the people are really, really tiny on the Vita screen. And then the other part was like the sticks are shorter, and
Yeah.
just the responsiveness is different. So when you watch, I uploaded the video of my match. My remote play match, and it's just like there are times in the beginning where I'm just like the aiming feels it's sort of like the difference between when you watch someone playing with a mouse and keyboard and someone playing on a console. It was that huge contrast where it's just like I'm doing these big motions in cardinal directions. I was like, oh, there, oh, almost got him. But yeah, it was really awesome. So yeah, contrast is I don't know how I feel about that game. I was streaming it as I finished the last two chapters, and people came in and they were like, "Oh, this game is so good," and it's like it's a little buggy, but it's so good, so worth it. And I was I was playing. It's like I am super frustrated right now. I think I'm really tired, but man, just like the jumping, you'd think like okay, you figured out this. It's essentially a 3D puzzle game, right? In many parts, and yeah, you would think that once you figured out the puzzle, it shouldn't like the platforming should not get in the way of you figuring out the more cerebral parts. But there are parts that's just like I'm jumping and I know this is the right way to jump. It's just like I'm not hitting the platform or I keep falling and then I have to do the whole thing again. It's like why doesn't it just work? I didn't really see many bugs, but it was just like the platforming was very frustrating in parts. It's like, ah, I've been here for an hour. That's why no one is watching right now because I've been here for an hour.
So when you finally land the platform, it's like, why didn't it work before?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I did the exact same thing, and 100 times it didn't work, and that one time it worked. It always works on the last time. But yeah, well, so people were saying that I guess they like how it. I guess it's the narrative or the context of the game is really neat. And I guess there was a part in the end where it's sort of like it showed maybe there was more to it than what you thought there was. But it also felt kind of cheap in the way that it revealed it. It's like, oh, well. And that's really all I can say about it without giving that entirely away. Gamer, have you played it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's
But if it's worth playing, I guess I'll try it out. Yeah, I mean, it's free, so I can't complain.
I suppose that's true. I mean, I wonder if I had paid money for it, would I have
Oh,
been more disappointed? Like,
I guess you would because like you paid money for it. But I guess we now know how game reviewers feel because like, oh, it's a okay game, but I paid nothing for it, so I'm okay with it. Hmm.
I guess that's true. Peek into the other world.
Well, I'll try it because like there's nothing right now for PS4, so
How about that launch window? Woo! Wide open.
Well, most of the stuff that's come out has been really they're sort of strange games like Doki Doki Universe.
yeah. Did you buy that one?
I didn't buy it.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing the demo, which is quite long. But yeah, it feels a lot like Scribblenauts, except instead of writing words, you like perform gestures with the right stick, and then stuff happens. People get happy, and you collect their happiness. I don't know. The other one, like Zen Pinball 2, that came out on PS4. So that's been pretty fun. Yeah, I think the real thing about why I love playing on the PS4 so much now is because of the share features. Because the game I've been playing the most recently is Don't Starve, which was this month's free PS4 game. And that game, man, it's what Tekken was saying about Tomb Raider earlier, about not going far enough and just like having to harvest food and all those things. Like that is what Don't Starve is. The enemies are sort of secondary in Don't Starve, even though they will kill you and you will die a lot. But yeah, the entire game is scavenging and figuring out how to survive and how to survive better. And it's really cool. They don't teach you anything, so it just throws you into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played it, wow, lots of times now, because I'm not very good, I suppose. I die a lot. The first time I played, it just starts and the guy tells you, oh, you should find some food before it gets dark out. And I just went around and I found, berries and carrots. And I was like, okay, I can eat these, but I guess the main character doesn't like berries or carrots, so they weren't satiating his hunger. But none of that mattered because I didn't know how to build a fire. And the moment the first night came, if it's dark, you die. And it's just like, seriously, it's like it became dark, and then it was nighttime, and then suddenly it's like the screen flashes red, and your character's like, "What was that?" And then you're just dead. It was like survived 0 days.
So you need a
Like,
fire at night.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh,
okay.
I have to figure out how to build a fire, and I have to figure
See,
out."
to me, that
how
would be
to-
frustrating because, like, I would think, eventually something else like that would happen where it's like, you're going through the game, everything's cool, and then, like, oh, well, you didn't have this bucket of water to do this or whatever. It's like, oh, and you died or something. Like, I guess, like, that'd be, like, an exception if it's, like, just the nighttime thing, but if it's, like, anything else besides that, it was like, oh, instant death here because you didn't do this, I'd be very angry.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that. I think it's more like Demon Souls, except instead of sort of combat and reflexes and like strategy, we were thinking about, oh, I should have dodged this way, but I didn't, so I died. It's like, okay, well, that was fair. I understand that. Don't Starve is like
Resources and time
Yeah.
management.
sources, but you also run into situations where I was just walking around and suddenly a pine tree I was about to chop down got up and started walking towards me, and I was like, "Oh crap! Should I?" It's like, "Oh, I'm full health." It's like, I'll just pull out my torch and try to burn it. And I ran over and started fighting this tree with my torch. That did not work, and so I died. I survived 3 days. It's like, come on. It's really cool though, because you unlock more and more characters, and each one has their own sort of attributes. And so far, my favorite is a character called the Fire Starter, and she starts with a lighter, and she is immune to fire damage. And I've shared a bunch of videos where I just went around and like, oh, this is a. I was just walking around and I saw a beehive. And I was like, and you can
Yeah, I
inspect
saw
everything. It's like, oh, it's full of bees. And I just ran over and lit it on fire, and the bees all came out and they started to burn too. I was like, wow, that seemed appropriate.
You did good, Tropical. You did good.
And then later, I was just running around. I was like, I'm tired of eating rabbits. I want to see what else is in this world. And I was just running around, and I went into this sort of thick evergreen forest area, and I saw this sort of bipedal humanoid pig creature, and I was like, oh my gosh, that seems dangerous. And I lit a tree on fire near me, and like the entire forest burst into flame, and just kept burning down across the map. And I was like, ooh. And it didn't kill the pig. That was probably not good.
Is there
Yeah.
an end game to Don't Starve?
I have no idea. The longest I've survived is 8 days.
Yeah,
And it's really neat.
I was gonna say, like, when you talk about it like that, it kind of sounds like Minecraft.
As you're surviving, you find more and more things that you can use.
Mhm.
And then you find new ways to combine them and stuff, and so you can make more and more tools. And it seems to me like potentially you can build like a house with a farm and just defensive walls and things, and just like have a settlement. But yeah, I've never gotten that far. The most advanced thing I've ever made was a rope. Or, well, maybe that, between that or the suit made of straw, which apparently is some sort of armor. But yeah, the game is so fun, and just being able to stream it, I think it's a game that suits itself, or it fits streaming really well, because it's kind of everyone's experience is going to be different. The world is randomly generated every time you go into it, and so you never know what sort of resources are going to be near you, or how far you have to go to get other resources, or what sort of monsters you're going to encounter as you're trying to get those resources.
You make it sound a lot like Minecraft. Is there a narrative?
Is that what Minecraft is?
Pretty much. Like, well, I'm only gauging it from like this video I saw on YouTube about this guy talking about why there hasn't been like another Minecraft-y, like, I guess, experience made or something. Since even though there's like a bunch of clones, it's not like been repeated. As far as like success, yada yada yada.
Yeah, well, I guess I've never played Minecraft, so I'm not really sure how the game is. My impression of it is that it has more to do with sort of building.
I guess the one thing that Minecraft would have over Don't Starve is that it is co-op and you can play with other people. So.
Yeah, Don't Starve is pretty sure it's only single player. But man, it's so fun. I'm just obsessed with it. It was the first game that I was playing because I was going to sleep and I was like, oh, I want to play Don't Starve, and I was like, oh, remote play, and I tried it and it worked perfectly, and that's what brought me to Battlefield the next day. But yeah, it's so cool. I'm sort of disappointed actually watching the live from PlayStation channel on PS4, because most people are still streaming the exact same games. You see lots of people playing Battlefield, lots of people playing FIFA, lots of people playing Assassin's Creed, and just everything that you've been watching on streams since launch. Like, that's what people are streaming. It's like, I feel like Don't Starve is a much more interesting thing to watch other people play, because it's just unexpected things happen at every corner. And then another, like, Zen Pinball, I think would be really fun to watch someone who's good.
Oh man, if I could watch Joel play,
Yeah.
man,
That would be awesome. So yeah, that's Don't Starve. Highly recommended. Go try it. and go watch videos. Those are really fun.
I think I would watch a Don't Starve stream. It was like a day 365. I got up this far, then you see him die. That would be so great to see. Tropical, come on. There you go. Get up to that
Like,
365 days, and I will
Die
watch
in
your
it.
stream. Because, like,
Oh
I
man.
know you say that you get, what do you call it? Like you get flustered when people are actually watching you. Is that what you? That was you, right? Or was that someone else? Or it's like people are watching. It's like, oh, you get nervous. Then
I tend to do better. I tend to do better when I know that people are watching. I play like I always thought it's like, oh, is there a career in which you are the person who plays demos? Like when they're doing the gameplay walkthroughs, like Colonial Marines back in the day. It's like, who is the guy playing the game? You know who's narrating, but who's playing it? And then when you're doing demos, you have to play it in a certain way. So yeah, I tend to do better when people are watching because I think, especially with linear games, like it is anticlimactic if you die during important battles and such. So yeah, I think probably the reason I haven't beat a lot of my shorter games, which I was planning to do, is because I'm trying to beat Mass
I was about to
Effect.
say, I know you've been playing Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I saw you tweet about this game is so annoying. Because I was like wondering what you were talking about.
Oh my gosh. So what I was talking about was I was on Novaria, which is so this time it was like the first planet that I went to, and just I kept dying. And every time I died, I would have to go through so I talked about how there is no like the autosave checkpoint thing.
Yeah.
Is sort of, I'm gonna call it archaic. It's just very user unfriendly. And so what would happen, like I got to the boss fight basically on that one, and then I kept dying during that fight. And so when you die, like I could either load my last save, which would be, I think it was like the beginning of that area, so I'd have to go through the entire area again, or I could just hit continue, and there was an autosave like right before the battle. Except it's not right before the battle; it's right before the conversation, right before the battle. And so I have to go through the entire conversation every time I died, and I died a lot of times because I'm not very good at the combat. Yeah, I don't understand. Like the squad controls are terrible in Mass Effect 1. I'm just like, go here.
It's
and
the
like,
truth.
totally flat ground. Go there, right in front of me.
Which is why everybody loved
nope,
Mass Effect 2's
terrain
combat.
is too rough. I was like, terrain is too what? There's nothing here. or order them to go ahead of me, and they'll just like run into my back, and then just like keep running into my back. And like, oh nope, can't do it. I was like, what? Why not? There. Does it get better?
It gets better in the second game, Tropical.
Okay.
That's why everybody loved the combat. Because they're like, oh, the combat in the first game was so bad, and like the second one fixed it. And it's like, oh yes, thank goodness.
Well, that's good. So I decided to just turn down the combat to casual. I was just like, screw this. This is so frustrating. I'm just dying so much and watching the same conversation over and over and over again. And it's not like you can do different choices every time, because it's like, I want to do this. These are my choices. So I'm going to do them.
What battle is this?
Get past this battle.
Yeah, Matriarch, whatchamacallit.
You know what? Tropical, I don't blame you, because that is possibly the hardest in that game.
Yeah, that's why I always do.
A lot of people get frustrated by that boss battle.
Yeah, because it's the second part of the boss battle that I died most on. Like, you talk to her, and then it just starts, and she's standing right in front of you.
Yeah.
You blast her to the ground, and then Asari commandos are coming up the sides, and you're still ragdolling on the ground. And it's like, well, I'm dead again. And oh gosh, the squad is like, oh, squad is gone. Oh, I'm dead. Again, and like, oh, I'm dead again. It's like, oh, why?
It's funny because it's been so long since I played that like encounter, and not being level 60, it's like hard for me to like remember like what I would do if I wasn't if I was like a low level character.
Well,
So wait, did you actually get through it?
Yeah, I actually beat that part on normal.
Nice.
So gamer, remember when like 1UP had the editor that couldn't get through like the final boss?
Yeah.
On
Mass Effect 1?
Because they played engineer and they only had the pistol.
Yeah. They were complaining though. That was the thing. They were complaining. Oh, the game doesn't. Well, it's true because if you're out with a pistol on that part, it's like, good luck.
Oh man, I don't remember what the end is. I chose infiltrator, so I just have pistol and sniper rifle.
Well, the main thing is like I think what they did was they chose the wrong crew members as well. Because if you're a sentinel or an infiltrator, you have to choose at least one assault guy on your crew. But I guess the guy didn't have it, so just match your crewmates and you should be fine.
Well, so yeah, it was like I almost stopped playing at that point, but I was just like, no, I must finish it. There are 2 more games behind this. And yeah, I tried again and again and again, and then finally one time I think the commandos got stuck.
Oh.
So they like one of the commandos showed up and then ran away when I started firing on her, because I ended up it was, my strategy in the end was like, okay, right when the battle starts, before Benezia does anything, we overload her, sabotage her, and then just turn on marksman with the pistol and just blast away like crazy. And yeah, it was like 2 seconds and she was down. Sometimes she would throw her, I don't know what it was, and we would just be everywhere and we'd all be dead. And so yeah, on the time that it worked, and yeah, the other times like, okay, she's down, but the commandos,
Yeah, they're still
I
going.
guess they don't know yet, and they're just like, I kill you. And so yeah, the one time that I won, like the commandos didn't make it up the sides as quickly as usual, and Benezia went down in 2 seconds, and we were able to turn around. And yeah, the one commando, she looked at us like, oh crap, and ran away. And so I just chased them down, and it's like, oh, finally. But yeah, so after that, I turned it down to casual for combat, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna play through it and hurry up and get to the second game because this is crazy. But that is not happening. You know, this time I'm actually doing side missions, and not because I really want to. It was just something I stumbled upon, because I wasn't doing most of the side missions in the Citadel. It was just like, oh, if anyone called my attention to them and then, you know, asked for help, I was like, okay, fine. And so far none of the tasks have been too tough. But then I got into space, and for the first time I sort of started exploring the, galactic map. And I found out, like, you can land on some of these other planets.
Ultra-optical.
I never knew that. I never did any of that. I just went to where I was going, because mass relays seem to go from their point to point, right? They're like,
Well, usually what happens is like the
buses.
only reason you'll be landing on the planets is because you already have the quest active to do the side quest. But if you go out and do it randomly like you're doing, it's probably more fun. 'Cause you're like, oh, I didn't know I could land here.
Oh, really? So they actually give you quests,
Yeah,
and then that's why you would go out there. Oh, I see.
but you can
Well-
still do them without having to. I'm pretty sure you can still do them without having to trigger them, probably.
I think what it was, because I was looking at the galactic map, and you know how when you choose a destination, it shows the arrows pointing like which stars you'll travel to
Yeah.
get to your destination.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do mass relays work? Like, is the travel time like the elevator rides are real time, right? So this travel time loading screen, that's real time too, right? So actually traveling from star to star with the mass relays is faster than traveling by elevator inside the Citadel. And I was like, that's amazing. But it looks like, you have to go from relay to relay to relay, and there is no sort of interspatial travel at all. It's like, oh, okay, so, in order to make it worthwhile, like, once you go through a relay to a star, you should at least visit some of those planets there before you go on to the next one. This is just the logic that came out. Because I was starting to get into this being on a spaceship thing, and like being the commander. I haven't talked to anyone on the spaceship because it's like
What?
like the first time I went,
Your crewmates.
the first time I played the game, I talked to Presley and the doctor, and then I went to the captain.
That's like the
and this
best
time,
part, tropical. That is like the best part is talking to your crewmates.
Playing Mass Effect wrong.
Well, this time like I just ignored. I was like, why would I talk to him? Like,
Oh my gosh.
Captain wants me, so I just went into the room, and then I came out and was like, why would it? Yeah, I talked to the doctor a few times on my other playthrough, and this time I was just like, why? I'm not hurt. I'm not sick. Why should I go talk to the doctor? So I've just been going to the galactic maps, like, okay,
Wow.
and we
That
just
is
had a
Tropical. One of the
I
advantages.
saw everyone. Why should I go find them? I'm the captain. They should come find me.
One of the advantages to talking to them is that you get XP to talking to them.
Ah. Well, we will see if it seems
You should just be like, whatever. I'm not going to talk to him, and just like see what happens in the second game and third game. It's like, you never came to talk to us, Commander. So
I don't know any of you people.
We have no relationship with you.
Were you on my ship?
It's like, do you remember that one time? No, I don't, because we never talked about it. Remember? Oh yeah.
Yep. Because I know that there are side quests that you get from talking to people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see if it feels natural to me later on. But no, I was getting really into being on the spaceship, so I started thinking about how does this work, and it was just like, oh, if it works in this way, then we should be traveling like this to save energy or something. I don't know.
So you didn't look it up in the codex, or you haven't looked at the codex at all?
Oh yeah, I guess I could have done that. Nope, not really. I just assumes like, yeah, because I mean the elevators are like that, right? So this space travel thing is
Space
it's like,
elevators.
it's super fast. And then so I think what really started me on the side quests was the first place that I visited that wasn't on my destination list was I think it turned out to be what it was like DLC on Xbox, right? Bringing down the sky. Yeah. Like that was the first side quest mission that I ran into at random, and it was just like, so if you don't know, it's there's a meteor out there that these guys have attached rockets
It's
to
an asteroid.
crash it on the planet, or yeah, it's an asteroid, and I saw that, and my justification for not doing side quests before, which was saving the galaxy is more important than anything else you guys could possibly offer, turned out to be false. Because I saw that, and I was like, that's going to crash into the colony, and millions of people are going to die, and there's only a few hours to stop it. And I was like, the chance that we're going to find Saren and defeat him in the next few hours is pretty low. Whereas if we do nothing here, those people will definitely die in the next few hours. It's like, okay, so some of the side quests are important. So I just landed there and did that one. It's like, oh, that was very cool. And so now I am more aware that, oh, perhaps there are more important things than finding Saren and the Reapers.
Right, in Tropical's first playthrough, the asteroid smashes into Terra Nova and everybody dies.
Yep.
Except the Batarians, and they're like, haha, we succeeded.
Although the thing is, I wouldn't know it because I wasn't paying attention.
Just like in the second game, you're like, who are all these people? I remember talking to you.
In my first playthrough, like the side mission that turned me off side missions was that one ambassador asking me to go find her sister or something, and I was like, that seems so unimportant on the list of things to do.
Oh, dude, as good consequences in the sequels. That mission.
Oh
Really?
yeah, it actually does.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why Tropical, you have to do every side mission.
You're playing this game forever, like Tekken. Maybe I should just play Renegade. At least I can have some excitement the whole way through then. So yeah, well, I mean, because of that side quest, like now I feel like, oh, I should go look at every planet. So I've been traveling. When I see the arrows, I go one arrow at a time, and then I'm just like randomly looking at every single planet in the area and then leaving. And so I've done, well, I guess like some admiral or something keeps calling me, is like, hey, yeah, this thing that we messed up, so you go handle it. And I'm just like, okay. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know. Oh, I just found Liara. So
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
found out about the what's that? The fourth place that you can go to.
Oh,
And
Romare?
yeah. But I haven't done the one with the plant yet. So I have to go do that one. And I'm slowly
That
working
would
my
be
way up,
Pharos.
but I'm running into a lot of side quests that I didn't know about. Obviously. It's like, oh, yeah, this does sound kind of important. And sort of the reasons, because like if you do the Noveria one, you find out where Saren might be going, right? It's like, oh, there's coordinates for another mass relay, and so I thought, oh, well, we should totally go there. And then some of the crew was saying, yeah, we should totally go and find him. But all of your dialogue choices are like, no, not yet. And the first time I played through, I was like, why? But this time I was like, oh, I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's a relay, so if he's there, he's probably using it to go somewhere else. And I don't know how these things work, but I
Wow,
don't think
Tropical, it's
trace where people are going.
it's been such a long time since I played that game, and I always play it in the same order. I don't think I've ever been in Noveria first to like see what they say, so I need to do that now after the podcast. It's like load up Mass Effect and just like play through Noveria first and be like, oh, that's what he says.
That's usually the last one
For me,
or the second one?
I would always go Liara, then Pharos. Or no, I'd go. Wait, no, yeah. If I was romancing Liara, I'd get Liara first. But if not, I'd go to Pharos and then get Liara and then go to Noveria and then I always go to Vermeer last. But
Yeah,
I never go to Noveria first. So.
that's how I usually do it. Or the other times when I didn't finish the game, that's how I did it. And the one time that I finished the game, I think that's how I did it too. For some reason, I remember the Pharos being really annoying. So this time I was like, I'm not going there first. So yeah, Mass Effect is taking up a lot of time because I'm not good at the combat and I'm exploring the galaxy. Maybe a bit too much. Although, wow, now thinking about it, I don't know. See, if I didn't know that there would be good things in the next games, like, would I miss them?
Yes.
Oh man. Okay, we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, so I think that's the bulk of what I've been playing. I mean, I've been playing random other stuff. Splunky, I just started on PS3. It's interesting, and it's strange to see that none of my friends are on any of the leaderboards. It's like, really? I have 122 people, and no one plays Splunky? I've heard such good things about it. Gran Turismo 6, I am nowhere near as far as Tekken, so it still seems like there's a lot of game. um, oh, but I really love how the one make races, like seasonal event, and the license tests have all of your friends like
Yeah, that's so cool.
lanes.
I
Like,
finally
oh,
played
so
one that had like other people's on it. I was like, oh, this is what Tropical was talking about, and I was finally able to like see people's line things.
it's really neat. I mean, I'm watching you guys race. It's like, how are you guys going so fast? It's like clearly you have to brake a little here, right? It's like maybe you don't. And so,
Yep,
and sometimes,
that's the trick. Is like there's some corners where it's like you can just let off the gas and not brake, and
yeah.
keep your momentum, and try to stay on course.
So that's been really awesome. And yeah, some of the seasonal events have that too. If it's just restricted to one car. So still enjoying that game. That's about it. It's probably other stuff, but we'll go with that.
All right, so I guess we can say some. Or do we want to talk about Kickstarter at all, or just save it for later? Because we could just wrap it there.
Sure. Let's wrap it. Have you played or game, or did you get Broken Age?
Yep. And it's worth every penny
Yeah.
I paid for
Oh,
it.
you did? Oh, you've played it already.
I played like 20 minutes of it. It is
Mm.
good. And it's gonna be so awesome when I say my name in the credits.
Oh yeah, that's the funny thing on the Steam sale. There was that I don't know what it's called. It was like it was a generic like Space Marine game or something, and like it was like what's it called? Whatever access.
Early access?
Early access game, and it was like if you pre-order this game, your name will be in the credits. Or there's like a tier that was like above the just standard pre-order for early access, and I was like, why not? So I I bought it and was like, oh, it'll be the credits for this game when it comes out. It was like the Interstellar Space Marines or something. It was really generic, but it was like first-person, interesting squad-based co-op. So I was like, oh, I'll play it because it's co-op. So it's been in development forever. Cause I remember seeing it E3 like years ago. But I was like, whatever, dude. I wanted my names in the credits of the game. So. It also got me to thinking like some of these games will have like really long credit rolls if like
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
people like putting money in. But I guess it's like a smart thing to do.
Well, so far Kickstarter has been pretty good, like output wise. Like Banner Saga was just released. You know, first part, even though whatever, Broken Age came out, so
Isn't
It's okay.
Wasn't Wasteland 2 also in early access where you could like get it, but it was like $60 or something weird? I saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
yeah, it's on the Steam store. Yeah,
Is that the full version or is that just like the beta?
still early access. So.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I saw that it was like $60.
And there's early access for Bugbear's next car game. That's on Steam as well. But that
Yep.
failed Kickstarter, so. But
I
they,
was actually thinking about getting that today.
did you see that? It looks crazy, the physics on the game.
Is that the Destruction Derby one?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, Kickstarter. I like the idea of Kickstarter, but not early access, you know. That's just me.
Yeah, because for me,
Yeah.
I bought AudioSurf 2 and I played it, but I haven't really gone back to see like how they've improved it over time.
I don't like the idea of playing an unfinished game. It seems weird.
Yeah, there are
To me-
parts
to
where
me.
it's like the one I got into was Kerbal Space Program.
Oh, I got that
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
just,
played it yet.
it is incredibly directionless, and it just feels. I mean, yeah, on purpose, it's unpolished because it's not done. But then you sort of play around with it. It's like, man, I played more for this game than a lot of the other games that I got on Steam, and it's just like it's not very playable at this point. It's just something you mess around with.
But it is cool
Oh.
that there's like the whole option of like, well, shut up and take my money so I can play it. as soon as, like literally, as soon as the game is done, I can play the game. Just give the developers some money. So
Yeah.
that's why I kickstarted the what is this game? unsung story, tell of the Guardians. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Fantasy Tactics successor, sure.
Speaking of Kickstarter, I recently replugged my Ouya back in, and just to see, and actually, like the game quality is quite good. I mean, I think they still feel sort of like mobile games, and I'm not really sure why, but just like the types of games, like you can tell, when you look at the indie games channel on Xbox 360, there's a lot of games on there that are just you see that not much effort was put into one aspect or another of the game, and it's just sort of there so that they can make money to make the game that they really want to make, or something like that. And Ouya, all of the highlighted games, everything that you see in the top, anything that's not in the sandbox, most everything seems really polished, or I don't know if polished is the right word, but it seems worthy of being on a store, a storefront. And so I tried a bunch of games. I was like, yeah, they do feel like the games are not that bad. I mean, you'd think that an open publishing platform like Ouya would just have a ton of crap games on it, like the Android market or the App Store on iPhone, but
Landfill games. Sorry.
that doesn't seem to be the case on Ouya. Ouya seems to only have, for the most part, like people who are really interested in making console games. I don't know, maybe the console game people who are interested in making console games are, well, I can't say that's true. Indie games on Xbox, I don't know. I think if you haven't, gamer, like you haven't checked out Ouya in a while, you should go look at it. It is, I think it's better. I actually think that Ouya kind of has a chance. For a while I was thinking, oh, PlayStation with their indie games push and everyone with their indies game push, like Ouya is sort of done because people aren't going to buy an Ouya over the other ones, even though it's cheaper. But now I'm looking at it, it's like, well, Ouya is still more open than any of the other platforms, really. And well, when it comes to consoles, anyway. And so, while you might get the big name indie games on PS4 and Xbox One, just sort of the chance for something crazy and awesome to come out on Ouya is still greater.
I think the thing is like, as far as Ouya goes, I think there's like an audience for that type of thing where it's like, I want to play like these weird, quirky games or like nothing else out there that are taking chances and just being experimental, as opposed to like I want to play like a refined AAA, like tested to perfection game that's on console.
Yeah.
They all kind of feel the same after a while.
The thing with Ouya, though, like even though you'd think that it would be more experimental games, but actually they're, for the most part, they're sort of like evolutionary games where they sort of take mechanics and then add some interesting mechanics and then polish it up and then release them as games.
Well, at least it's good to see like the ecosystem across the board thriving. So nobody's like, even though it took the blood sacrifice of the Sega Dreamcast 15 years ago for this to happen, we can now have a crazy console space with crazy games.
Yes, blood sacrifice.
Alright, so I guess we will wrap this episode here. So, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, wherever else, YouTube, on the internet. And, Gamer Tropical, anything to say before we wrap it up?
Come on, next gen games. Come on. I'm waiting here.
Are you really anxious, gamer?
Yeah, but March is so far away. Then like so many games are coming out in March. Like, why you're doing this? But yeah, just yeah. Well, it gives me time to work on my backlog, so I'm okay.
Yep.
I may be tempted to get Tomb Raider on PS4 later this month.
I pre-ordered it.
So
I thought you said. But did you already have a game? Or I thought you said like one of your resolutions was to not get
Yeah,
2 games.
resolutions is not to get anything this like after 2014, so I'm good. So it's not technically double dipping if I bought it last year, so I should be good.
See, I thought about that when I saw the new trailer for that that one 3DS game from Square Enix. Whatchamacallit? It has called.
Bravely Default.
Yes, Bravely Default. Because I was like, oh, I want this game, but I was like, I can't buy it. So yeah, I wanted to break down and just pre-order it, but I was like, oh, I gotta be strong. So and my 3DS is broken anyway. So
Yeah, Tomb Raider for 60. Although it does look amazing.
That's rough. Like, it's a rough price.
Yeah.
And I hope to God, like, I wish they would just stripped out multiplayer. It's like, I don't give a shit about the multiplayer, but I guess they're gonna have to put it in there.
Oh, sorry to drag this on, but one last thing, Gamer, did you get, or were either of you part of Best Buy's Gamer Club before they changed over to the $120 one?
no.
Wait, Gamer Club, the free one or the paid one?
The unlocked.
No, I was not.
Okay, I wonder. So I got a coupon from them that said, "Hey, join our new Gamers Club Unlocked for $30 for 2 years." And so right now, I paid $30 to Best Buy, and I get 20% off new games for the next 2 years.
That's cool. Well, they were offering me when I bought the PS4. They were offering me like what? It was like $60 or something.
Oh, the giant, the Epic Gamer bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you get discounts, but it's like, I don't really buy from Best Buy.
Yeah, it's funny. I got a.
So is it working out for you? The 20%?
Well, I haven't bought anything. Yeah, it was kind of funny because I bought it sometime in December because I got the coupon then, and I sort of sat there and was like, is this a trick? I mean, basically what they said, they leaked out information. It's like, oh, for $120 you get 20% off all new games for 2 years. And we looked at it back then, we were like, it's actually probably a good deal for people like us because after you buy 10 games, every other game is going to be you're saving
$50. Yeah, you're saving like $10 per game.
Yeah, but then it sucks because in the beginning you're in the red for 10 games. You have to buy 10 games first before you sort of get back what you paid for. Whereas, so that was sort of in my head, and then when I got the coupon, I was like, $30 for this same benefits? Like that's like 3 games, and then I start getting the benefit. And so it's just like, did they leak this incredibly high price on purpose and then get people to join by giving this low price? Because they don't care either way. I don't think they're just like, this is just free money for us right now, and maybe those people will buy a bunch of games and we'll get screwed later on. But right now we're getting lots of free money, even if it's $30, like $120, $30, whatever. It's free to us.
Yeah. Well, you also get that Gamer magazine that has coupons as well. So does that stack, you think?
I actually think that may have been discontinued.
Oh, they discontinued.
I don't know if the magazine exists.
Because that magazine gave out
I
some
think the benefits
awesome
are now
just unlocked.
Yeah,
just
well,
20%.
for a little while. For a little while.
I
But
did not get that.
yeah, so in December I got Into the Nexus. Not as much for dollars wise discount because it's only $20, but I got it, and then yeah. So is it working out? Well, it works. At the time, I had not decided yet that I wouldn't be buying many games this year, but who knows what's going to happen in September?
Oh, they pulled you in.
So now I was like, 20% off. Should I just go ahead and get Tomb Raider then when it comes out? And destroy my backlog beatdown plan? I don't know. But no, to address that, next gen games hurry up. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to be excited about already.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Titanfall and the whole like 6 versus 6
That's
switcheroo.
not a big deal. I think people are just overblowing
I don't know,
it.
gamer. It's like, you know,
They are.
you like what? Well, I guess depending on the person, it's all about the person. Because like, if you think it's gonna be like a giant Battlefield game with like mechs and stuff, and then it's like all of a sudden, oh, it's not. That's kind of a problem.
Well, it is though, but it's just like it's all filled out with AI
That's the
characters.
thing, though. It's not real people. It's AI. It's like
Mm.
I don't want to play against AI. I want to play against real people, not bots.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think the thing that occurred to me was like when we play Call of Duty, like back during the Gap Nights, Call of Duty is like, oh, you could only have a party of, was it 6? And then beyond that, you only have one game mode that you could go
Oh
into,
yeah.
the thing. And so if Titanfall is only going to be 6, like it's hard to do game nights for games that have really small player counts when you want to get XP and stuff. And I'm betting Titanfall is still going to have that type of carrot system, carrot on a stick system.
God, I hope not. Shit.
We have heard nothing about Xbox One.
I've some news for you. Mine is a paperweight. Because like before I went on vacation, I like packed everything up like PS4 and Xbox One, and I haven't unpacked my Xbox One yet. Because there's nothing out for it. It's like there's Halo Spartan Assault. I don't give a shit. Like, so I'm waiting for Titanfall. But it's like Titanfall, I should just get an Xbox One rather than PC. Because like I don't know, my PC. I feel like it's shit ever since like next gen came out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like it's cool because like for me, I need to upgrade my PC, but I'll just wait for like the more awesome Steam boxes, and then hopefully there'll be better stuff for the Linux support as far as like programs and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping next year that'll happen.
But like that's the next game I'm gonna get for the Xbox One. But then at that time's like it's coming out what, the 11th. Next week, the week after is like Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and
That's gonna hurt.
Infamous.
That's gonna hurt me. I'll be like, Metal
That's
Gear,
the
I
week
can't buy it.
after. And, like the week after that is like Diablo 3. It's like what the hell? It's like fuck March. And we haven't heard news about Watch Dogs when that's coming out. So
F that.
Mhm.
Ubisoft
I lost
can suck
all
it.
interest ever since they delayed it.
I did too, especially with the. I forgot. There's something else I'm looking forward to now. That's not that game.
I think it would be pretty disappointing if Watch Dogs like doesn't come out relatively soon, and then when it does come out, it's basically the game that we've heard about for the past year.
Is it? Oh,
Because,
it's like
like-
the same games. Like, why do they delay it? At the
Yeah,
first
like
place?
we
Oh,
heard
yeah.
about it, all of this last year, and now another year has passed, and it's the same game. It's like that doesn't. Was it just really broken? It was just all smoke and mirrors. Then you guys revealed it way too soon.
Yeah, it's like it moved out of the way for GTA. Well, that's not the whole reason, but like when it did move out of the way and didn't go up against GTA and like comes out later and has to like be side by side against it and like still underperform, that's gonna be a problem. If
Yeah.
that's the case. At least on PS3 and 360.
Well, I think my Xbox One argument prevails. It's just like there's no point in getting both of them right now.
Yeah, there's. I regret it every moment
There's-
after I bought it.
There's too much stuff to play on PS4 alone in
Yeah.
the months leading up to the games that you want to play on Xbox One.
Yeah. Unless you're like the opposite guy, or it's like you buy everything on Xbox One and there's nothing on PS for you on PS4. Like I would get that point, but it's like there's for next gen, like I went in too early.
Yeah, like there's
For
no
sure.
reason to get both, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that was
Yeah.
another 20 minutes. So, reminder of what Tekken said, since I caused this. Check us out: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and aimlesspodcasts.com.
So yeah, until next episode, will RPG be back? Probably not. Will Tropical have finished more games from his backlog? Will Tekken finally have played Bioshock Infinite? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of Aimless Babble Z.